Welcome! In this video we present a brief summary of the Summer of Love 50th anniversary celebrated in San Francisco in 2017. In addition, we describe the discovery, description, and unique reproductive behavior of a tiny little segmented worm that was discovered in 1987 in the very place where the hippie movement began 5 decades ago. In 1967, nearly 100,000 young people converged on Haight-Ashbury, turning San Francisco into the epicenter of a cultural phenomenon known as the Summer of Love. During this transformative time, music, fashion, and art flourished, and according to a 1987 recollection published by the San Francisco Sunday Examiner and Chronicle, there was a feeling that everything was possible. And indeed, everything was possible, even the discovery of a new aquatic animal species in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, California, where on January 14, 1967, this social phenomenon known as the Summer of Love had started. In 1987, the German evolutionary biologist Dr. Ulrich Kutschera discovered a new leech species in Golden Gate Park. This loving San Francisco worm is a caring mother who feeds her young. Here we see the first page of a research paper published in 1988 entitled A New Leech Species from North America, Hylobdella californica, nova species, class Hirudinea, family Glossophoneidea, authored by Ulrich Kutschera, who was at the time a postdoc in Stanford, California. This slide shows a photograph of the dorsal view of a holotype of this new species, fixed in ethanol. Note the posterior sucker of the leech at the lower end of the body. Here we see the anatomy of the leech species Hylobdella californica, Kutschera 1988. Leeches and earthworms are hermaphrodites. In other words, male and female reproductive organs are contained within the same body, so that the animal can first perform the male and thereafter the female function during reproduction. Humans and other mammals are gynochorists. In other words, they exist as two separate sexes, males and females. In 1989, he published his next paper on this novel species. In this paper, Ulrich Kutschera described the fascinating reproductive behavior and parental care of this leech, Hylobdella californica. Reproduction can be divided into 3 stages. In the first stage, copulation of 2 hermaphrodites. This complex transfer of sperm is not shown here. Stage 2, cocoon deposition and attachment to the parent, as depicted in our illustration. The cocoons and the developing young are carried around by the hermaphroditic parent. Here we see the most exciting part of parental care. An adult Golden Gate leech with hungry juveniles attached to its belly captures a prey organism, in this case a rapidly moving scud. The mother delivers it to its young and assures that the juveniles can suck body fluids from their prey. After approximately 20 minutes, the dead shell of this tiny crustacean is released, after the juveniles, together with the parent, have consumed all of the body fluids from the scud. After about 3 weeks, the juveniles leave the parent and begin feeding together as a group on small prey organisms such as tubifex worms. Here we see the drastic effect of feeding of the young by the parent. Within about 3 weeks, the body size of the juveniles has increased dramatically. When they leave the parent, the chance of survival for these kids is much higher than without the provision of nourishment by good mother leech. 22 years later, in 2011, Ulrich Kutschera published a 3rd major research paper entitled The Golden Gate Leech, Occurrence and DNA-Based Taxonomy of a Species Restricted to San Francisco. In this article, the body of a specimen of Hylobdella californica is shown that was collected in Mallard Lake, Golden Gate Park in 2010. Here we see an adult Golden Gate leech that carries juveniles on its belly in the process of feeding its young with the captured insect larva. A DNA analysis, specifically the sequence of the mitochondrial gene CO1, has proven in 2011 that Hylobdella californica is a valid, distinct animal species. In this diagram, we see the phylogenetic relationships of 4 Hylobdella species and other leeches as outgroups. Note that the GenBank accession number for Hylobdella californica is added to the slide. The Golden Gate leech, like other members of the leech group Hylobdella, is a model organism to reconstruct macroevolution. In other words, the gradual phylogenetic development of new complex body plans over millions of years. The 2 branches of our illustration cannot be described in this context. Here we see a macroevolutionary scenario that proceeds from a basic earthworm-like leech that is cannibalistic and does not show any parental care, via an intermediate form, up to the complex parental care pattern which involves active care and feeding of the young in species of Hylobdella. For a valid species description, 1 ethanol-fixed specimen, the holotype, plus around 10 other individuals, the paratypes, have to be deposited in a scientific institution. In this case, specimens were deposited at the California Academy of Sciences in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco. In summary, we have shown here that the Golden Gate leech Helopdella californica, Kutschera 1988, discovered in 1987, has a unique and complex behavior as described in 2 publications. This altruistic worm, or in other words, this loving good mother leech, is a verified animal species of the United States of America, listed in the ITIS report as species number 69405.